The best amateur racing experience has made its way into MX Bikes with this year's CCRL Localcross series. With tracks raining down from legendary creators like Checkers 448 and Kells, the series is designed to provide fun for players of all skill levels. Featuring 2-stroke open, 125 open, Stark open, open amateur, open pro, over 25, under 24, 250 CD, and 250 AB classes, you can find a class that fits you no matter what. The tracks are also designed to be easier and more fun without huge braking bumps or ruts to navigate and tons of huge jumps to hit. Round 1 is already in the books and took place at the Whiptown, USA track, but a new track just hit the shelves as a fun remake of Muddy Creek called Whip Creek is now available. So be sure to get involved with plenty of seats still available. They'll sell you the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge. Oh yeah, people, this is awesome. The Localcross is back in MX Bikes. So excited for it, and even going to try to do a little bit of racing myself as well. But seriously, I am a huge proponent of Localcross racing, always have been. It's one of my favorite series that we ever did in the MX Simulator days as well, and I think that it being in MX Bikes is awesome. And this track is also awesome as well. So we're going to check this out. This is, of course, the Whip Creek track, which is a remake/rendition of Muddy Creek. So it's actually a little bit longer than most Localcross tracks tend to be because of that, because it's almost like based on a national track. But the Hangtown Whiptown USA track that Checkers built was also kind of like the same vein a little bit. So this one kind of falls under the same scope of that. But yeah, so let's talk about this series a little bit. Runs on Tuesdays, if you're not familiar with it or haven't raced it already. And basically it starts at like 3 p.m. Pacific and runs all the way until like 8-ish p.m. Pacific. But that's not when all the races commence. They have different classes that run at different times. So it starts off with 2-stroke open, 125 open, and Stark open by the looks of it at that first time slot at 3 p.m. And then 4 p.m. is the open amateur, open pro time slot. And then over 25 and under 24 time slot is at 5:30. And then 6:30 is 250 CD and 250 AB. So depending on which class you want to race, those time slots, they fall into different realms for you. And obviously it means that you can race like multiple time slots. I think they limit it to just 2 classes each. But like if you want to race 2-stroke open and then over 25, obviously the time slots are a little bit different as well. So that's pretty cool. But why I'm a huge fan of Localcross racing in general, and again, coming from the MX Simulator side where we used to do a lot of Localcross racing, is because, yes, the Pro Series is cool. That's where everyone wants to be. They want to get good enough to race GPs. They want to get good enough to race Supercross and all that stuff. But the Localcross Series is where really anyone can show up and find a way to have fun. Back in the day in Sim, we used to have 50cc racing and 125 classes of all skill levels and just a lot of different classes that you could compete in, and they were always on these types of tracks, which are like easier. I mean, they're not the easiest tracks still, like they're kind of, have their own challenges to them, but they're definitely easier than like a full-scale national track. Like this is the most braking bumps you're going to have is coming into a corner like that, and then otherwise it's pretty easy track for to get around. Like going up this roller section, you don't have to have like amazing technique to get up it, or going through these off cambers, you don't need to like perfectly hook a rut. If you bounce out of this inside rut, you'll just flow to the outside rut, and vice versa. You can use that outside rut to cut back across, and the ruts aren't that deep either, so it doesn't feel like you're just like grinding up against a wall rut trying to make it through a corner or something like that. And to me, why this is good is because like a game like MX Bikes has so many different skill levels. And, look, the Pro Series, they do a good job of allowing, A and B and C and D class racing basically on the pro tracks. But I think that still kind of stifles growth for some people because they get burnt out on playing just the gnarliest, hardest tracks available. And yes, the ranked racing does kind of help with that a little bit because then it finds other tracks that are easier to play. But the ranked racing, still the one thing that it has a detriment on is you just never really know who you're going to race. It always ends up just being random people at random times of the day, whenever you can play. And that's also a positive as well because you're not locked into a specific time. But Localcross racing genuinely is, let's get a bunch of awesome people together and race and compete and have a lot of different classes so that, if you want to watch the pro class, you can stick around and go watch the pro racing and all that stuff like that. But also, if you want to go race yourself and feel like you can compete against some skill levels that are close to what you're capable of doing in this game, there is that option available as well. And to me, that's just that's needed for a game like this, where instead of just being locked down to do the hard, difficult tracks, you are able to go and do fun tracks with good competition, have good races. It's a full-scale series, so it's not just like some random lobbies that people are putting together. Like, it's a legit event that people are running. So, yeah, it's definitely something that I highly recommend people get involved in, or for the simple fact that, hey, man, these tracks are also a ton of fun, and I think we'll have a lot of playability on servers for years to come. People always talk about how overplayed Forest is and Farm 14 and tracks like that. And again, the ranked series have done a great job of opening up new avenues for track creators to make tracks that are more this like mid-ground scale, where it's not the most difficult track, but it's also not just the easiest track you've ever played in your life, and still have some fun. But this is also another way for like some of the most legendary track creators, like I said, Checkers involved, Kel's involved. I think Quest is even doing some help with this too. And they're just putting out bangers. And this is supposed to be a 6-round series as far as I understand it. And there are a few more new tracks still to come. There's going to be a couple repeat tracks from tracks that are already out, but there's going to be some new tracks down the road as well. And can't wait to see what they come up with, because even this one, I was so excited to see when this one dropped. I knew Chex was coming around and putting some work into this, saw little sneak previews and stuff like that. And I was really excited to see what the community feedback would be to this, because again, it's just a cool, fun play on a real track. It doesn't have to be the gnarliest track ever. It's just simple, easy, fun to play. But then you also kind of feel like you're playing Muddy Creek, which is a track that obviously we haven't been to as a pro national in 7 years now, 8 years, something like that. But also haven't really seen much of it being used in general in MX Bikes or MX Sim. Definitely not in MX Bikes, because like the pro racing was done in real life on this track before MX Bikes like really took off. So people have not been playing this track very much. I definitely remember playing a crap ton of it in MX Sim, just burning laps on this, trying to get good on the natty track. But now I'm just glad that we have an easier version and can shred around on Whip Creek here by Checkers, and Kells, I believe, did some work as well. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this series, please get involved in the comment section below. I'll try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Like I said, I would very much like to race this series a little bit, and I think I'll be able to get involved on some Tuesdays because it fits my time schedule just a little bit better, not being a full like dinner time race series. Like, that's the cool thing about it too, is that if you want to race in the afternoon, you can, or if you want to race late, you can too. It kind of goes long enough that it fits a lot of different time schedules, and there's enough classes to get involved that, you know, even if you can't race the Open Pro class, you know what, come back a little bit later, you'll be able to race 250 AB, or if you can't race two-stroke Open, come back way later and you'll be able to race under 24 or something like that. So definitely a very cool series. Love the concept, always have been a huge proponent of this, and highly recommend getting involved and checking this out. What do you guys think of this track too? Like I said, it is cool to see another rendition of a real track turned into a fun track. The Whiptown USA Hangtown replica that Checkers built, man, what a banger that was. And another thing that Chex did on this track that I know for sure they put a little bit more time into was Whiptown was kind of built almost with a 450 in mind. Like, it was a little bit more difficult to really nail everything on a 250F. The top guys definitely could still do it, but then like 125s, it was kind of a struggle to get around some of the things on the track, like the rhythm section before the finish line jump is really difficult and things like that. But this track, I know they put a little bit more time into just kind of making it work all together. All the sections are supposed to be able to pretty much be doable on any bike, which is why, you know, 125 is going to be a really fun class to watch on this, 125 Open. But even two-stroke Open, you know, you can race a 125 in two-stroke Open. But these jumps are all doable. Even the big step-up, which I forgot that I still have my look left and look right binded to that. But the big step-up that I'm coming to in front of me, I'm pretty positive. I've already tested it on a 250F, and it was really easy to just go outside right here and hook this outside rut and then get a good run, because you kind of like double and use this to get a good speed up to this. And obviously second gear on a 450 is super easy to get all the way over it, but third gear on a 250F was pretty easy to clear it too. So to have to imagine on a 125 wide open, you'll be able to get that thing no problem. And yeah, like I said, it's just cool that they're putting effort in to make tracks that kind of fit the mold with a lot of different skill sets and levels. And I think even you guys watching this video will get excited about this, just to be able to play a track that's a little bit simpler, a little bit easier, and maybe makes it a little bit more fun to play this game and pick it up and not feel like you're grinding the gnarliest of gnarly tracks of all time. And it fits in with a good time for this too, because now everyone's done with Supercross. It's over. We're all burnt out. We're ready for outdoors. But you also might not be ready for the gnarly, crazy tracks that they're going to be making for ARL and the MXB GP tracks. I think that this is a good middle ground, gives you guys a fun, easy avenue to play some fun tracks, but also still have some fun technical aspects of it and makes it a good challenge all around. So yes, definitely check this out. Like I said, now available in MX Bike Shop. Whip Creek, and fun track for sure. But then tomorrow, Tuesday, the 13th? I don't even know what date it is anymore. 13th of May, coming up. Round 2 of the championship. Get involved. Head over to mymxb.com to check out the series. I'll include a link to that in the description below as well. And all the fun kicks off, I believe, at 3 p.m. So Whiptown now available, or Whip Creek now available, I should say, and the CCRL Localcross Championship. Check them out while it's hot. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, it is the comment section below where you can voice those, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thanks for tuning in to another video here on Start Your Systems, and we'll see you guys again soon. So long for now. If you liked that video, be sure to subscribe to the channel for much more motocross gaming content.